guys, welcome back to story time. Today we're going to read chapter 8. Yep, we read chapter 7 yesterday. We met the second main character, Phoebe, who is a musician and lives in Nightingale. She is playing in a band with cats, and she has a musical instrument that is actually talking to her. It's a cello, and the chapter ended off with her noticing a mysterious beetle on her windowsill. Now chapter 8 is called The Telltale Beetle, so let's find out what it's all about. The copper-coloured beetle scuttled over the cushion and stopped. Its eyes glowed brightly for a moment. Phoebe started playing the cello again as casually as she could manage, although she could feel her face reddening. The beetle stayed motionless for a moment longer, then twitched as its wing cases flicked open and its wings whirred. The beetle rose into the air, circled the room, and then flew back out of the open window. "Do you think it heard us talking?" the cello asked. "I'm not waiting around to find out," said Phoebe firmly. She placed the cello back in its case and snapped the lid shut before leaving the room. She hurried down the stairs to the third floor, where she was greeted by the cat orchestra. A tiny woman holding a conductor's baton was standing on a chair in front of the cats. She glanced around. "Ah, Phoebe, my dear, you're just in time for a final run-through of the Timber Wagon March before the parade later. I'm sorry, Madame Apergio," Phoebe said. "I need to get some pine pitch for my bow." She smiled at the cats. "See you in Clock Tower Square, guys," she called over her shoulder as she continued quickly down the stairs, taking them two at a time. "Yes, well, don't be late, dear. You know what will happen if you're late. We will all be in the most terrible trouble," Madame Arpeggio's musical voice called after her. Phoebe rushed past the landlady's rooms on the second floor, the music studio on the first floor, and the salon with its elegant furniture under dust sheets on the ground floor. Reaching the front door, Phoebe opened it and was only halfway down the steps to the street when she heard the clatter of tin feet on paving stones. Glancing down the copper pot alley, Phoebe saw two tin men marching up the hill, axes over their metallic shoulders and eyes glowing. Above their heads, the little copper-coloured beetle hovered, its wings whirring. As soon as she reached the bottom of the steps, Phoebe ducked out of the sight beneath them. She crouched and watched as two sets of heavy tin boots paused in front of the Fairweather house before she heard them thud up the steps to the front door. Phoebe clutched the instrument case to her chest and could feel her heart beating fast. The tin men pounded on the door until it opened, and Phoebe heard Madame Arpeggio's voice. "Can I help you?" "Oh, I see. Well, she isn't here. Wait, where are you going? This is a respectable musical house." The tin men must have pushed the landlady aside, because the next thing Phoebe heard was the sound of their footsteps clumping into the house and up the stairs. The cat orchestra had begun playing the Timber Wagon March, but it abruptly halted. The tin men must have reached the third floor, the air filled with howls and hisses as the cats protested at the intrusion, while Madame Arpeggio's voice rose up above the din. So this is what they look like. And if you notice, they are holding a wanted poster, and that is Phoebe with her cello, so they are looking for her. Let's see. "Everyone, please remain calm. It's just a little misunderstanding. I'm sure you've got the wrong house." Phoebe felt the instrument case tremble, as if the cello inside was afraid. "It's all right," she whispered. "I won't let them hurt you." Suddenly, the sound of splintering glass made her jump. There was a loud crash, and another, and another. Phoebe peered up from beneath the steps and had to stifle a scream. Lying on its side on the paving stone was her wardrobe from the attic room, and beside it the chest of drawers and her little trestle bed, legs crushed and headboard cracked. The tin men clattered down the stairs and out into the street. And that's the beetle that was on the windowsill, so perhaps the beetle was spying on Phoebe. As Phoebe watched in horror, the tin men raised and brought down their axes, chopping the furniture into kindling-sized pieces. They gathered the wood into 2 bundles, tied them with rope, and hoisted the bundles onto their shoulders. Phoebe couldn't see much more because the scene dissolved into a rippling blur as her eyes filled with tears. She heard the clang of the Tin Men's boots on the paving stones of Copper Pot Alley, then felt a comforting hand on her shoulder as she sobbed. There, my dear," said Madame Arpeggio. "They've gone." She helped Phoebe to her feet, and they went back up the stairs and into Fairweather House. The cat orchestra had gathered in the salon, adjusting bow ties and smoothing down their white jackets, their instruments packed in cases. Madame Arpeggio hurried upstairs while the cats gathered around and gently nuzzled Phoebe, inviting her to stroke the tops of their heads. Generally speaking, the cats of Nightingale were proud and independent, and it was extremely rare for them to allow humans to stroke them. But Phoebe was part of the cat orchestra, and its members could see that she was upset. Phoebe dried her eyes on a corner of a dust sheet and stroked young Possum's head. He was the plump grey tabby who played the other cello. Her poor furniture smashed up for firewood, Phoebe thought, as she hugged young Possum, his fur soft against her cheek. Why did the clockmaker and his tin men hate the ancient trees of the great wood, the trees that had magic in them? But she knew why. They didn't like anything they couldn't control, thought Phoebe bitterly. Anything that didn't follow their orders, like clockwork. Now they all had to go to Clock Tower Square and play at their awful parade. Phoebe could feel her face flushing with anger. She didn't want to go. None of them wanted to go, but they had no choice. If they didn't follow the rules, the whole orchestra would be in danger, not just Phoebe. Madame Arpeggio seemed to understand. "I don't know why the Tin Men are looking for you, Phoebe, and it's safer all round if we don't know, but you need to slip away unnoticed if you get a chance. For now, the safest thing would be to come with us among the crowds. Here, put this on," she said gently. She handed Phoebe a black velvet eye mask. "Now you've got to play in the parade." And that is the end of chapter 8. Okay, so again we are witnessing the threat of this city, and this time it's not rats, it's tin men who follow the clockmaker's instructions, and they are looking for Phoebe. They are looking for our main character. The next chapter is called The Nightingale Parade. That means they are on the way to the parade. Tomorrow we will see what happens next. Have a lovely evening, and I hope you enjoyed this new chapter. Bye.